Hello, everyone. Welcome to Speak Up Sis Talk Radio. I am your host, Angel Charmaine, and this is the place where Christian authors get an opportunity to share their stories to inspire yours. And I've got another beautiful guest here with me today. Her name is Miss Ketrice Keys. How you doing, Ketrice?
Hey Angel, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, sis. I am excited to have you in this space with us today. I mean, I've got an opportunity to share some other spaces with you,
Right.
but I'm really happy to have you talking about your story on Speak Up Sis Talk Radio. So thank you for saying yes.
You're welcome, and thank you for inviting me to this platform as well.
You're so welcome. All right. So Speak Up Sis Talk Radio. Miss Ketrice is a part of an anthology called In Spite of It All. And there are stories that are compiled by Miss Erica Warren, which is pretty interesting to Ketrice's story.
Exactly.
Yes, we may actually tell you how that, why that is pretty cool and why it's interesting. However, Ketrice, the title of your story in this particular book is More Than a Conqueror.
Right.
So before we start talking about that, if you will, please just share with everybody a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do before we dive into More Than a Conqueror.
Okay. My name is Ketrice Keys, and I am formerly a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for the past 20 years. That career came to an end June 30th of this year. And right now, I'm a full-time entrepreneur, working at launching two businesses, Ketrice Keys Enterprises, as well as K Majestic Couture, which is an online clothing boutique.
Mhm.
And I am, more importantly, an evangelist, a child of God, and I love declaring the word of God and just inspiring others to tell the stories of how God has delivered and brought them through some things so others can be delivered as well.
That's what's up. That's why I love you.
That's
'Cause
me in a
you my
nutshell.
kind of Jesus girl.
As you are mine. Yes.
Amen. We know there are lots of different types of Jesus people,
Yes.
but you my type. So I like that. That's what's up. All right. So let's talk a little bit about More Than a Conqueror. First thing, is this your first time being a published author?
This is my first work as an author. I was invited by Erica to
Okay.
be a co-author in this book, and I was just kind of ecstatic about it. At first, I was kind of a little shaky about it because a lot of people hadn't heard this story. A lot of people, even with me being 47, a lot of people that know me didn't know this story. So that kind of, rocked me a little bit, but I got over it,
Mhm.
and I decided to go ahead and share this with the world.
That's what's up. I'm glad you decided to share. For those of you who are listening via radio, also know that we are also live and there's video. And we've got some people in our live audience. Ketrice, Erica says your sound is a little muffled, so you may want to come a little closer to your mic so that we can, hopefully it won't be as muffled. So prayerfully, everyone listening and or watching will be able to hear you clearly. All right. So I'm
Okay.
glad that you decided to say yes to writing. Did it give you kind of a bug to write more once you decided to do this?
Well, actually, I've been writing all my life, if that makes
Okay.
sense. I've the way I got through my childhood was reading and writing. So yeah, I've been writing poetry and short stories all my life, but um, this kind of reawakened me
Got you.
to the writing aspect of my life. So yeah.
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 It's something about writing for yourself and then writing with the intention to share.
Right.
That's different.
It's different. It is different. It's very different.
Yes, I write therapeutically. And so I've always been, I've always had a little diary with the key and log or some journal, whatever. And writing has always helped me to just go through the healing process, even though I didn't realize it was a healing process.
Exactly.
But when I won't say when the Lord led me to begin to share the writing, it was petrifying.
Right. I know. It puts you in that place of like, oh my God, I'm letting people into my space. Yeah, it does put you in that place. But once you decide you're gonna do it and you actually do it, it's just like, whew, I'm ready for the next one.
Ready for the next one. Ready for the next. But before we get into your next one, let's talk about this one. Let me tell you, More Than a Conqueror is something else. You've got quite a testimony, and I'm sure it's a lot fuller than the pages that are within this particular compilation. But please tell us what we can expect. I already know because I have the book, but tell us a little bit about what you had to overcome. What did you have to conquer?
Okay, so I decided to write about the first portions of my childhood. And a lot of people, after me releasing this book, asked me, well, why did you decide to write about that? You could have picked up any portion of your life and shared that with us. But this portion of my life is what got me to where I am now, if that makes sense. The things that happened to me as a child spilled over into my adult life and has shaped me into the person that I am now. In the book, I talk about being a little girl, growing up, experiencing being bullied by my stepfather. And at the time, I didn't know he was my stepfather. He was actually, in my eyesight, my biological father. But I found out later on in life, like when I was about 12 years old, a kid on the school bus disclosed to me that he was actually my stepfather. And so after finding that out from a kid on the bus and not from my actual mom, living that lie up until I was 12 years old, after I found that out, it just threw me into a spiral downward. It was like, okay, all my life, you guys have been lying to me. People around me knew the truth, but I didn't know the truth. And so when I found out, I was torn to pieces, actually. It was something hard to grasp, especially for a child at that age, if that makes sense. When we're adults, we can kind of deal with things a little bit better, but being a child and having your whole world torn apart by the people that you love and trusted. So that just threw me into a spiral, and I became rebellious. I became withdrawn. I would just stay in my room for hours on end. I was antisocial. And the older I got, the more rebellious I got. And I just started doing all sorts of things. If you name it, I did it. I became addicted to alcohol. And that was something that I grew up with. My stepdad was what we called a weekend alcoholic. He wouldn't drink during the week. He would drink, on the weekends, and he would hide it, and I would find it, and I would drink it. And it was just something that just stayed with me for a long time. So a lot of people didn't even know that I had that problem because I dealt with it so well. I mean, I was functioning, I was in school, I was just, living life, doing whatever, but I had to have the alcohol every day. And it
Wow.
was just a way of me numbing the pain of the stuff that I experienced as a child. And it threw me into being promiscuous and just looking for love in all the wrong places, because at the same time of me finding out that he's my stepdad, then I'm grappling with the idea of, well, why didn't my biological dad want to have anything to do with me? So all of this is going on, and I found a way to deal with it with sex, with alcohol, marijuana,
Right.
stealing, you name it.
Girl,
I
did you
did
say
it.
stealing? You didn't have the sticky fingers.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I sure did. I took whatever I wanted. It didn't matter who I took it from. Because I was trying to feel. It was like, now I know, I was trying to feel an emptiness.
Right.
And I felt like if I did these things, it's like I'm doing it on a dare, and then I get away with it, and you get this rush, and it's like, whoo, yeah, I did that.
Wow.
I did that.
And you weren't that old either. I think a lot of times when we think of, people who become addicted to things, alcohol or whatever, that, these are adults, but you weren't. You were still a child. Like, how old were you during this time?
Well, if you want me to be really honest, the first time I drank, I was 4 years old.
4?
I was 4. As the first time I ever experienced drinking. And what happened was,
you get a drink.
My dad, like I said, my stepdad was a weekend alcoholic, and his thing was always, to drink, turn on the music, and we're gonna have a good time. So he left his whatever it was. I think it was champagne or something. Then I'm not even sure what it was, but he left it in the room with me. And he left out of the room, and when he come back, it was gone. I was lit. I drank it. Yeah.
What hit it?
Yes. And so from then it was like I had this feeling, and it was like I wanted to get it back. And you would think a 4-year-old wouldn't.
Right.
But yeah, I did. That was my first time drinking. And so all throughout that time, he would be drinking, and I was sneaking get it.
Oh.
I was sneaking get it.
Because to be 4, I'm sure some adults have told you about this particular incident. Did you get in trouble like at 4 years old? Did you like get a spanking? Did your parents kind of laugh it off like, this girl done got drunk? Or like how did they handle the 4-year-old getting into the alcohol and getting
No,
drunk?
I didn't get a spanking. It was like you said, this girl done got into the alcohol when she lit. And you think, because you would think that they told me, but I actually remember it.
Yeah, I believe, listen, there are things I remember that I know. When my mom says, Angel, you weren't but 4 or 5. You
can't remember that.
And I'm like,
yeah,
but I do.
Yes, I do. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't get in trouble. It was just like, and I didn't get scolded. It was just like, you did it. I mean, and I still remember being in the room dancing, and I remember all that. So no, I didn't get in trouble. And it wasn't like alcohol was off limits, because I mean, it was what we were accustomed to. Now, my mom didn't drink. My mom didn't drink at all.
Oh, wow.
But my stepdad did. That was his escape. That was what, and I know now he was running from stuff as well.
Yes.
So that was his escape. And so that just became my escape as well.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you also in your story in the book, in spite of it all, you said the fact that I was bullied by my stepfather, abandoned by my biological father, and lied to and betrayed by my mother pummeled me into a life of drinking, promiscuity, clubbing, stealing, and even landing myself in jail.
Yes. I got caught shoplifting at Walmart.
But Walmart catch you. Folks, people at Walmart. But Walmart say, y'all, we know.
And this was years. I'm talking about this was years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we just did it all the time. It was a group of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you what happened. We had a new kid with us. We shouldn't have did that. And she messed the whole thing up. That's how we got caught, really. But that was God stopping me.
Most definitely.
Because after I got caught and went to jail, I never stole again.
Really?
Never.
What was it about? What was it about going to jail? Was it the getting caught? Was it the jail? What was it about the experience that made you go, I ain't doing this no more?
It was getting caught.
It was the getting caught. Because you got the high from not getting caught.
I got the high from not getting caught.
High, huh?
That was over. Because you could, I could see myself going back, and then you always gonna be looking over your shoulder trying to. No, I was like, I'm done with that. So that was the end of that. And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people don't know this either. When I went to jail, I didn't call my mom. I called my biological dad.
Really?
He came and got me out of jail. Yeah. Because my mom always said, if you ever go to jail, don't call me because I'm not coming to get you.
And you believed her.
I believed her.
Do you think she would have?
I honestly think she wouldn't have come. Still today, I still believe she wouldn't have shown up.
Right.
So, yeah, he came and got me out of jail. Now, I had started when I was 15 is when I met him and started trying to build a relationship with him.
Got you.
So I'm right now, me being in college, I was in college when I got caught and went to jail. So I had to be about 18 or 19. But we had an off and on relationship. It was never him trying to reach out to me. I was always going to him.
Right.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. So your bio dad, he comes to get you. And I don't want to give everything away.
Right.
Yeah, we want them to actually, get the book.
Right.
If you do not have this book, in spite of it all, it is an anthology. It's got a lot of co-authors. I don't even know how many co-authors. Do you know exactly how many of y'all?
I can't remember how many it is.
It's a lot, though. There are a lot of great stories in here.
Yeah, a lot of great stories.
Get it? Yes. The name of the book is "In Spite of It All." It's stories compiled by Erica Warren. You can check that out. And at the end of the conversation, we'll let you know how you can grab a copy of this. But you clearly, your life didn't end here. Clearly,
right.
Because you're here with me more than a conqueror.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So how'd you get to this place?
So after going through all of that, I ended up being in a pretty bad relationship with this guy and ended up getting, actually it wasn't a relationship. We were just, kind of off and on through high school. We kind of dated a little bit. And then I reached out to him in college and I ended up getting pregnant.
Got you.
I ended up getting pregnant.
Change your whole life, won't they?
Babies will change your whole life. And that is what started me on my journey to being the woman that I am now. Had I not gotten pregnant, I probably would be dead right now. I probably more than likely would be dead because my life was total chaos. It was total destruction. And I was just headed that way.
Yeah.
But once I got pregnant, something clicked. And I said to myself, I cannot raise a child with this lifestyle that I have.
Right.
There's no way. And so that's when I really honed in on my relationship with God. Now, I got saved when I was 15. I gave my life to Christ when I was 15. So through all of these ups and downs, spirals, trying to get it right, I ended up getting pregnant. And that was the best thing that happened to me. A lot of people will say, getting pregnant, and people did say, you're having a baby. What are you going to do? And that changed my whole life. That changed my whole life.
I remember I got pregnant. I was 22 in college. 22, my senior year, girl. Senior year.
Yes.
All the way to the end, the
Right.
last semester of senior year. But like you said, when I think about it, I don't know where I would be had I not got pregnant. I don't know. It's almost like God stopped me, like bam, you get to go nowhere.
Yes,
Go
exactly
home.
right. Yes, right.
I don't understand why. It just seems like every time God stops me, he tells me to go home.
Right. Yeah. Go home. But yeah, that's what changed my life. And what prompted me to name it my chapter More Than a Conqueror is the fact that, in the Bible, God would send his children to war. And sometimes he would tell his children, once they conquered whoever they were fighting, don't take anything. Don't touch anything. You leave everything there.
Mm-hmm.
But there were other times when he said, you go in, you conquer the land, and you take all the spoils.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to reap the benefits from this war. So they didn't just conquer their enemy.
Right.
They got to take some of what their enemy had. They profited from that war. And so coming out of everything that I went through, I consider myself to be more than a conqueror because I have attained so many blessings from what I went through. It was like, how the enemy, we say the enemy means it for bad, but I have seen God work it for my good.
Yeah.
So I didn't just conquer it. I more than conquered because I got so many gifts. I got so many blessings. I got just overflowing out of, all of this stuff that I went through.
Yeah.
So that's what prompted me to call my chapter More Than a Conqueror.
I love it when you get to bring home the spoils of war. You get
Exactly.
bloody, but you actually get to bring home all the good stuff, all
the good stuff, all the good stuff. Yes.
Yes.
And I people tell me all the time, they say, well, you have such a pretty smile. And I have not always been able to do this, Angel.
Mm-hmm.
So now I just smile, I laugh, exactly. Everything was like, I still got that too, but I have so much joy. And I look back over my life and I used to remember, God, why am I going through this? Why did you let this happen to me? Now I understand it.
Yes.
It makes perfect sense. And not that my trials and tribulations are over, but now I do know in my relationship with God that it's going to be for my good. It's going to work for my good. And then not only for my good, it's going to help somebody else too.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's a win-win situation, right?
Girl, you preaching. You preaching. We're supposed to be on here talking about a book. I say, yeah.
It's a win-win situation. Yes.
Yes. Yes. So listen, before this conversation ends, because believe it or not, we're on.
I know, right?
Can you even believe it? I love having these conversations. I love hearing people share the word of their testimony. I strongly believe and Speak Up Sis Talk Radio and everything Speak Up Sis is one of the principles that is rooted in is Revelation 12 and 11. That we overcome him, we triumph him, right?
Right.
We become more than conquerors.
Right.
Through the blood of the Lamb and the sharing of our testimony.
Exactly.
And so I love being able to sit in this space and create a space for people to not only overcome,
right,
but help other people
overcome.
So exactly. I would like for you to please, if there is a woman listening right now who maybe she doesn't feel like an overcomer. Maybe she doesn't know that she can be more than just an overcomer. Because there are some who have overcome, but it's just like they don't realize there's more for them, right? Do you have any words of wisdom, encouragement, edification for women in that space?
what I'd like to say to a woman that's in that space, 9 times out of 10, what makes you feel like you're not more than a conqueror, what makes you feel like, well, I've overcome, but just is what I call PSF and G Incorporated.
Okay, say that again.
PSF and G Incorporated.
Okay.
This is the incorporation that kept me bound and just, not really, overcome, but just kind of like I'm still stuck in this space.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to call them up one day and tell them, I no longer want to be a part of your corporation. PSF and G is pain, shame, fear, and guilt. You have to divorce those cats. You have to call them up. You just got to tell them, look, you got all you gonna get out of me. I'm not giving you no more of my time. This is the end of our relationship.
Yes.
I'm going to share my story. I'm not going to be guilty. I'm not going to be shameful about it. I'm not going to let this pain me anymore. And I'm definitely not walking in fear about it anymore. So you just let those cats go. Call them up. Tell them this is the end of our relationship. We getting a divorce today. Today. And once you do that, once you do that, it's just like, I mean, it doesn't matter who it is that makes you feel guilty. Whoever it is, cut it, walk away, stop it. That's what really holds us back. That's what really keeps us from walking into what God has for us. Let's let PSF and G go. Cut the relationship.
PSF&G.
Yes, incorporate. Dismantle.
They work together.
Yeah, they work together. You dismantle that incorporation. Wow. That's it. You just have to make up your mind, determine within yourself that this is what I'm going to do. And with God, I can do all things. And affirm that to yourself daily. That's it. And shut the enemy out.
Shut him out.
It's
him.
Yes.
He has to flee when you resist.
He has to go.
Go.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Listen.
Thank you.
I'm feeling encouraged, empowered, inspired. We're coming. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. So please, for anyone who would like to check you out, contact you, tell them how they can do it. Please make sure that you share your platform, the name of your platform as well.
Okay. Just before I do that, let me just say, for the people that don't know, I did get a magnificent gift out of all of this, going through this, not knowing who my biological daddy was and all that. And her name is Erica Warren.
Yes, thank you for reminding. Listen, girl, I got caught up. I forgot to bring the people back.
Yes, my sister by that mister.
Yes, that is.
I'm talking about. It has been amazing. I am so overjoyed that we have a relationship and we are so much alike. But yeah, that's one of the biggest gifts that I've gotten from going through what I've gone through. And so if you want to purchase a copy of the book, you can go to payhip.com/Ketrice Keys, KETRICE Keys, and you can purchase a copy of the book there. You can reach out to me on Facebook as well, and that's just my personal page, which is Ketrice Keys. If you want to reach out to me on Instagram, that's Ketrice Keys 2000, and Twitter is @Ketrice Keys. So those are my platforms. If anybody wants to reach out, I'm available, and I just love talking to people, especially about the love of Jesus. Thank you so much, Angel Charmaine.
You're welcome, and thank you. All of my listeners, I will make sure that I put Ketrice's information in the description of this video on our Facebook page, which is Speak Up Sis Talk Radio, as well as our YouTube page, which is Speak Up Sis. You can actually watch this video in those places, as well as the Speak Up Sis website, which is speakupsis.com. All right. And she didn't mention this, but I'm going to throw it out there. She also has a platform called Spittin' Fire with Ketrice. We don't even have enough time to talk about the fire she's spitting. But listen, y'all check her out on Facebook, Spitting Fire with Ketrice. It's a Facebook group. And I'm gonna just tell you, it's all about the word of God, and it ain't nothing to play with either. So come on in there and get some stuff burned up. And with that, you all have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Be blessed. Bye.
Bye.